Yeah, you see, the thing about um, solidity is the wrong word, but what we build in our lives has got to be solid, um, but we need to avoid solid isn't the right word, but it's the opposite of fragile. So Nassim Taleb talks about anti-fragile, but it must, what we build, business, relationships, ways of thinking, must be at very least unfragile rather than big. So use business as an example. Our objective mustn't be to have a big business, a fancy business, a shiny business. That must be the first objective. The first objective must be to have a business that is not fragile. Why do I say that? In other words, do you have the ability in your business to be able to ensure that it won't crumble? Let's not say business, let's say your means of income. Are you in a job, very fancy job, very nice job, lots of money job, maybe big huge title job, C something, CFO, CEO, CCO, they just chief something something something. Yeah, maybe that's nice. Look, see the cattle guys, they're having fun. But is that job fragile? In other words, is there somebody that can take that away from you in one fell swoop? That somebody may be the board, that somebody may be the shareholders, that somebody may be the economy. I don't know. But think about it this way. Your objective is not to generate as much income as you can. The objective is to raise as much income as you need that can't be ripped out from under your feet. So that tends towards smaller businesses, smaller jobs, in which you have control and your partners can't gang up against you. Or it lends towards businesses where you don't have one client. And what is formal employment, working for Coca-Cola or Reebok or the government? What is that other than having one client, one boss that can call you in one Tuesday morning and say, listen, we're putting you under performance review or whatever. Maybe a smallish business with many clients, 100 clients. The likelihood is that all 100 of them won't fire you all at once. And very least, you'll see the writing on the wall. If 3 of them fire you in close succession, you know you're doing something wrong and you can adjust before the other 97 fire you. So build something that's not fragile. Don't be impressed, bedazzled, fooled by big numbers, because those can go very quickly if you're fragile. If you have one client that can just fire you, rather look for something that's not fragile, something that is solid. If it can be anti-fragile, in other words, even if you take a knock, you get stronger. Okay, that's first prize. But first, begin with unfragile. Now begin to apply that logic. It's kind of easy to imagine that in business. But to begin to apply that logic to relationships, for example. Sure, it's very solid. You can't be destroyed if you never enter into a relationship, if you just keep fooling around or moving around as if though you're a lone ranger having fun here and there, and you can never be destroyed, because easy come, easy go. So if you do enter into a relationship, be careful too that you're not building a whole fragile tower that can be destroyed at any minute by that relationship ending. All your stuff, maybe your car, maybe your house, maybe your friends, all comes crumbling down because one of the two of you remove yourselves from this relationship. That doesn't mean don't have a relationship, but maybe structure things in such a way that the test would be, if either of us move away from this relationship tomorrow, do we still have a place to sleep? Do we still have the ability to generate food and shelter and clothing and care for children, or whatever our responsibilities are? Should that not be the measure of a successful relationship? Not just the fear of losing it, but just the fear of, or the requirement that we have to avoid a situation where we threaten each other, consciously or unconsciously, with, well, I can't leave this relationship, even though it really doesn't work for me anymore. It used to work for me last year, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but it really doesn't. But what can I do? Because where will I sleep? How will my children function? What about the car? I can't live without this sofa. So not only the problem of things falling apart when they do fall apart, but the subconscious avoidance of the falling apart because of the fear. So try to avoid that fragility. I'm not saying don't build something, but if you do build it in such a way that the ending of the business, the ending of the relationship is something that can be dealt with. But also worldviews, so relationships, yeah, businesses, yeah, but worldviews, the way you see the world, be sure that that is not fragile. In other words, don't build your whole life on some religion or some way of thinking that can just be contradicted by some clever argument somewhere, and then you find your whole thing implodes. Be solid, be unfragile. Let your thinking be informed by things that can't easily be changed. Just take in, who's going to take the beauty of nature away? Who's going to take the present moment away? If you're basing your understanding of the world and why we are here based on the appreciation of the mystery and the beauty of the present moment, who can take the mystery and the present moment away from you? Build against fragility. Call it solidity. Call it permanence. But be aware of anything that is fragile. Don't stop loving. Don't stop building business. Don't stop thinking. But avoid being fragile. Think about that today. So why is this thinking important? Because one thing is for certain, and that is that everything is uncertain. Everything changes. Everything has a beginning and has an end. It doesn't matter if you're a fruit fly or the Milky Way galaxy. There is a beginning for you And there's an end for you. It doesn't matter what business you're talking about, a demand for a certain product or service. There is a beginning to relationships and an end to relationships. There's a beginning to the way in which we see the world and the cosmos, and there's an end. So avoid in your life such strategies that assume that everything will go on like this forever and it'll be fine, the business partner that I see in you will be the same person for the next year, for the next 10 years, for the next 20 years. It will be fine. No, everything changes. Structure things in such a way to make peace with the fact that everything changes. And when things do change, because everything changes, know that you have a plan, that you will continue to eat, that you'll continue to have a place to sleep, that you'll continue to be able to function in such a way, at very least, to continue. If that means that you build something small and solid, then build that. Don't be obsessed with bigger and flashier and more impressive. Be careful of those traps. All right? I think you get what I'm saying. Chat later, guys.